Hello. I'm happy to be here and thanks for Marco inviting me. My own aim here is to find out what's mean autonomy or freedom in the classroom. Or in my point of view, in the community. Because I think the learning is somewhere else than just in classroom. And try to show it in my presentation. Of my background, actually, it's in training school, but 6 years I have go around Finland and help teacher to find their own way, engage and participate peoples in their own classes. And I think that to find teachers' own way, they can't imitate anything. They have to find their selves before they can get fire. Okay. First, if I wear this hat in this context, what would you like to ask me? Who did it? Or if I would ask something of myself in this context? I have another hat. If I wear this hat in this context, what would you ask me? Who steal the boat? Or this context? It's a whole other thing. If I don't know what you're asking me, I should find out. I have another hat. What would you ask me in this context? And again, if I would not know what I should do, find out. Okay, now I have an anchor here. Everybody of us knows what it's like to play. If I'm a sister, big sister, and I ask my little brother, how about if we played home? And little brother answer, of course, yes. And the big sister said, what if I were your sister and you were my brother? And brother answers, yes, exciting. What they are doing? They are playing. They are modeling the world at home. They make and create meanings and purposes and connections of those meanings. Those elements I use in my own work as a teacher. And they can choose their roles. I don't force them, only little, but only if they want to left the whole play. And that's why I'm here. What are you doing when you let them to choose and have the freedom? When I ask, what if? I make believe. And when we are learning, we need our experience and experiences. If you have a new idea, the students must find out from their own experience what they know already. And things which create emotions. And when they have experience here and now, or things that they make believe, and if there's emotion, they will have a deep experience. And then they come together and discuss and reflect, and they will learn. But they have to have free will. And that's the challenge. When I was teaching, we were almost middle of the Helsinki. Can we read of Helsinki reading by books? It depends on the view, how we read it. If we read like we watched an exciting movie or theater piece, then it's fine. Book is fine, but it depends how do you read it. We created a town. The first step was that I share them to the groups. What kind of things they like to do and what kind of experiences they had. And then I let them to draw to the wall what kind of things they pretend important in the town by making believe. This is town they would have to have. Actually, we created 2 cities. I found it some nice place from a Google Earth and copied it and gave it to the children and said, how about this place? Could it be a good place to your city? And they answered me, okay, it's fine. And we started to create. We had 2 cities, 2 places to live. And I gave them a budget. How much cost to have a school, bank, road, things like that. And they gave ideas what else they needed to the city. And then we designed it, and parents was helped us. We measured how long those houses should be. We use math and so on. And then we needed, of course, role characters. Or actually, we had 2 characters. We had antique Greece characters and this nowadays city, which wasn't Helsinki. It's coming from our imagination. And then we created the role. And this is about how we reflect what the role is doing. It's like do you remember Tamagotchi? We kept the Tamagotchi alive. This was their Tamagotchi. And the double consciousness. Sarah Bowles from Texas University is talking about double consciousness, or in this case, it was actually triple consciousness, because they have two role characters and they self. And if I'm here in role, I can live like in this environment where the roles is living. And then I can jump away and look what I have there, what should I do there, and then going back. As a role character, they are doing much more than they dare to do by themselves. And that's the whole point. As a role, they have experiences that they would have had in a million years by themselves. They are superstars in a role character. They can do anything. And if you are making possible of the impossible things, all the time you find something new to your own character. And that's the power of pretending to be somebody else. And when I ask of my students, what's the best of this role play? They said, to be somebody else and to be adult. They made family trees, relatives, homes, their own home streets, and so on and so on. Everything they needed. And we lived in our city. They worked, they have jobs, they could pay, and they paid taxes. 30%. And then we used those taxes. Then, if we have city, we need commune council. And we arranged elections. And they need parties, not Democratic or Republicans or middle parties or something like that. No, they created health party, water party, traffic party and car party, and parties like that. And then they fight themselves to the city council. They made their own programs, and we arranged the election fight. And TV was there, of course. One girl is down behind the front of the photo, but she asked, Mauri, those neighbor classes left away, can I go there and draw mind map there? Because that we understand better what kind of program we have. Then she draw their program to the wall. This is a part of our phenomenon-based learning. And the themes was democracy, science, literacy, and strictly defining, it was something like media and press. So we had our own press inside our world, in our city. Then we had an election debate. And we have city council, and they made decisions. And I think that's a part of why I'm here, because they learned how democracy, justice is working, and how would we do it. we played. And of course, they needed something concrete, equipments to the discussions. So they learned how to argue, and we had debates. For example, we had a head editor and what do you call these groups who leads the press? What is called? Päätoimitus. Editors, yes. We have also editors. And everything decidings they did was writing down. So, when editors was deciding something, all the citizens wanted to know what they have decided. Because, for example, the city council, all my children were a part of this city council. It didn't mean that somebody got out of the city council when we have the elections. Everybody took part. Then we have some issues. And for example, when something happened in Finland, when grey water and poor water was mixed, and they have some kind of catastrophe in Nokia city. However, we had the same situation, and they found out what's wrong in our city water. And we did all with my students. We had all the time 3 teachers in my class. Then one of those lessons that they have duty to keep, they researched 4 kind of waters. And then city council was meeting, and they made decisions what we should do to correct this issue. We ran out money. So they found out, okay, we have way to collect more money, taxes. And we find this live webcam near Copenhagen. And I run it in our class. And then they order taxis, different taxis to trucks, different taxis to vans, and so on and so on. And we got money. And we ran our city again. And we built roads, different kind of houses, services, and so on and so on. So, actually, we designed the magic circle. What is magic circle? We have agreements. We know how we illustrate and make believe our common circle. And guess if they engage it. Before 8, they were front of the locked outdoor in the school and phoned me, Mauri, where are you coming? We are already here. And then when they should go away, they said, okay, 1 minute. And 1 hour after the school, I was there. My wife called, Mauri, when you have planned to come home, okay, 1 minute. What we did if we have a problem to define our world? We go outside. If somebody had a police role, she or he went to the police department and asked, Mauri caused us a problem inside the story, and we can't find out how to solve the problem. What would you do? We were modeling the outside of the world. And eventually I didn't force them to go outside. They used their own time after the school. So actually we hadn't any school time. One morning, one group of the students came to tell me, Mauri, we were in the forest last night and we had a LARP. Guess what happened? And then she told me what happened, what they have done, and so on and so on. I have drawn this kind of model. And if you look at strictly, and you know work of Peterson, there's an identity, values and beliefs, skills, what they do, with whom they do, and which environment they are doing. And this gave me the equipment to reflect things with them. And time to time, we had an action with our children and with our parents. In this case, we LARPed our antique Greek city. And this is the model I have tried to develop. There's a what-if sector here. It's also reflections sector we are doing in the classroom. And there we asked, what if I were police? Or what if I lived in that kind of city? And then they write stories, I offer and make offers them. They write diaries and create the roles of their own, and then I caused conflicts. What if in this world would happen that? What would happen? And then they solve the problem. They create groups, have ideas, develop those ideas, go outside of the school and model the world, come to the what-if sector and make those double consciousness. What if I were police? What would I be? What would I do? And so on, so on. And then always we had a diary. I call it role portfolio. They have their own way to do it, but it's like a diary. And that's the Tamagotchi part. Something is happening in this role, and it's quite important for them. And then, if something is happening in the story, we reflect in the classroom and ask, what if we went to the outside of the school? And then we go and come back, develop the story, reflecting as a role, what if, and so on and so on. And eventually, they have the whole world around of the role character. And they have groups, they have hobbies, they have all those connections that we have in our everyday life. And actually, somebody says that I am a gameful learning expert. I think the time of the expert is over and in the past. But in this case, I used elements of play. And if you know the works of Mr. Gray, I think this was quite familiar for you. And this is how we going on. Those themes, for example, science. When we built bridges, I gave them a paper and said, this must, you have to have 10 grams weight, and it must kestää. Mitä se on? Did you understand what I mean? What the paper must carrying? They had to solve the problem, how they must do with the paper that they have a bridge in their world. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm aware that it reminds me of the circle of a Kolb experience circle. But the main point here is that our subconscious is our superpower. When we make believe, we go to our own history and find out then something valuable, and same time we imagine or make believe impossible and make those impossible things possible in this illustrated world. And I think the hard work is done in our subconscious. And that's the important thing that we must learn to our children or engage them to making believe. And that's that. Thank you. I'm happy.
Thank you, Mauri. The curiosity of the students is a strong asset in the learning, and I believe that in the approach you have very clearly kind of like illustrates that, how the students can be involved to the whole process of the learning. In the program it says that we should have a break now, but that's not true. Yes.
Actually, around Finland, there's many projects like this. My former students are doing those, for example, in virtual worlds, Minecraft, for example. For example, in Siltamäki school in Helsinki, they are doing something like this, but in Minecraft. So I think that's part of the future, which is the question about.
Yeah, and all the school musicals and so. Was there any questions? Yes, there is one. Go ahead, please.
Hello, my name is Kathy and I'm from Germany. And right now I'm founding a new democratic school. And luckily my kids already attend a Sudbury school. So I really believe that you are a wonderful teacher with a great heart. And it's good to have teachers like you in the public system and in the education for teachers. But I asked myself right now, why do we have to create those stories if we could live it? I mean, we are living in a democratic society, so we could just live it. And we are all here, we're already living it. So this would be maybe the next step. Don't just play it, it's life. And yeah.
I agree.